kind of miss home. Strange how it's only been one night away, but Kane's wandering about makes things really difficult.
And who knows where he went.
For all I know, he's trying to track me, so... Then again, for all I know, Anna just led me right to him. Still, I kind of creep alongside the bed. There's something that always ends up making me feel just a little bit excited. Whenever I end up experiencing this, there is a want, a need to be able to end up tasting. I feel like on a cheat day or something like that right now. Fangs go in. And I start to drink as my body starts to rejuvenate itself. Let's see how bad this gets. 3 rouse checks.
Yep. Oh.
Only one. So I will sate 1 hunger.
Okay.
Which will fill me up to damn near max without killing him. Being off bad night's sleep at worst.
Rough night. Yep. What you do taste is melancholic. Maybe with a dash of hope.
I find myself kind of laying in bed with them as I end up feeding. I hold them like I would a treasured loved one. I do so to feel the warmth of skin, to feel alive. I know it's only a few minutes that I can spare, but I drink slow. Slow enough to make the moment last just a little bit longer. To me, it's kind of the same feeling as when you hit the snooze alarm. You know you should get up, but you just a few more minutes more, a few more minutes more, and that's all I can think at this point, my arm around them. Almost... no, I do actually hug them. As though for that brief moment, they're the most precious thing in the world. I do so because... well, like I said, there's not much difference. They're my dealer. Should give them a little bit of a show. I take my fill, a small amount. I lick the wound. I'm a careful feeder when I want to be.
You're a careful feeder most days.
A little kiss on the cheek. Good night, lover. And I start to walk out the room. And I can still feel the warmth of my own skin. I'm naturally cold. I'm dead, after all. But that residual body heat, you know, that I've had that little bit of contact, that's right there with that mood, that somberness, and that little bit of spice on the side. I can get used to that. I could spend every night feeding like this. Normally, I make it a quickie. You know, get in, get out, grab a few things, maybe spare change in the drawer, watch that won't be missed. This time it's company. This little thing that we had, this little moment that he'll never know that we shared.
But he'll linger with you, at least a little bit. The taste is strong. Not overly strong, like he's been bathing in it for all of his entire life. More like he's been there. He's been to that point. That point of no return. And returned. So while it's not overly overcome with sadness, it is more like a comfort, a need to be comforted that sticks with you. Just kind of lingers on the aftertaste.
Almost makes me want to sneak a kiss. But fortunately, I have things to get a hold of. Oh, hey, it's no longer dangling. Nice, I can go back to driving.
Yes. All of the broken bones you may have had have set. The skin, at the very least, is covering any injuries that may still remain underneath. But you at least look the part.
Ugh. Still hurts like hell, though. But I suppose that's what I get for sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. Still. This one's cute. I make my way out. Don't really see any personal effects, but I definitely go through the wallet. Not to steal anything, not this time. Just to get an idea who I'm dealing with. Name, maybe.
You see an ID card, their name, some cash, a couple of debit cards, or credit cards. Who knows which that they are anymore. But you do see also in the wallet a sobriety coin. 1 year.
Well, he's already better than me. Better than I deserve. Still taste him. I'm kind of just floating on it. Just enjoying it. Alas, our moment has to come to an end. So I'm going to make my way out.
All right. You exit the home just as quietly as you entered. Not a soul knows you are here. Except for you. And what's left of your soul, anyway. So, brings us to the next item on your agenda, Shrink. You've kind of done 2 birds with 1 stone. What is that other thing that you are wanting to do tonight?
I need to talk to Miss Kaufman. Jade. See how things are transpiring. Pick her brain a bit. Get shouted at. She didn't like me much, but
But also, when was the last time she truly shouted at you?
I'm pretty sure if she did, that would be breaking every sensibility she has. But hey, always fun to make her try. Not really sure on how I want to go about this tonight. I don't exactly want to be kind, then it ends up meaning I want something. I don't want to end up being too overbearing, though, otherwise it gets her attention and maybe starts thinking about making me into her project. No, it's good to keep her busy. Status report and all that.
Which, you know where she lives.
I do. Hell, if everything goes like I hope it does, I might be the only reason she still has her sire's haven, her only keepsake of what's left of his legacy after, him being reduced to ash and all. But hey,
You know, the one that she
anarchy.
blames for.
She blames me quite a bit, which is fine. But we'll see on how this goes. I get opportunity to experience a little bit of heaven due to Hannah. And now I get to experience a little bit of hell due to Jade. Hmm.
Your record with women, I suppose. But you make your way, walking, as you normally do. You don't drive particularly all that much. You kind of peruse the domain as you're continuing to go through, and you make it all the way to her home. The home which you've broken into before, which it does
I
look like
will.
she would be here.
I am not going to end up breaking into her home. I'm going to be polite. Not.
It does look like she is around tonight, so you knock on the front door, and it's quiet for a moment before you hear the locks unlatch, and she opens the door and looks slightly puzzled, but then kind of shifts her weight to one foot and crosses her arms. Shrink.
Oh, what's with the look, Jade?
You weren't who I was expecting.
You were expecting somebody?
Possibly.
Oh. Won't you invite me in?
Sure. She kind of steps aside and kind of gestures for you to come inside. Not that it would do me much good to refuse you.
True. But you're trying to play to the rules. I'm trying to end up learning this little bit of sensibilities. It's about as good of an olive branch as I think the two of us can get at this point in time. The fact we're both putting forth the effort, I think, speaks volumes.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
He steps inside and waits for her to close the door.
And she does.
Who are you expecting tonight?
A contact. Someone I believe that yourself and Miss Anna have both made very abundantly clear that you want me looking into, so I'm poking my nose around, as it were.
Could we take a seat?
If you would like.
I would. I would like to sit and talk with the much oft maligned Jade Kaufman. And I would love to end up spending a bit of an evening with her, discussing, well, what I imagine most Blue Bloods enjoy talking about, business.
Most do.
What about you?
Not really any different. But you bore very easily.
I do. I do bore very easily. But the office has to be respected. You and me both can agree on that much. And I'm trying to acquiesce to that. And so I'm taking my job very seriously.
Yes,
Doesn't mean I can't
as
have
you've
a
made
little
very
bit.
clear.
So, let me avoid the poking around and going the indirect route because, well, you might consider that rude.
I would
The-
prefer if you were simply direct with me.
So I'm trying to acquiesce to that. Do I get a cookie?
Hmm. Do you even like cookies?
Nah. Nah.
No, you strike me as more of a sausage fellow.
Ooh. Now that's saucy.
I figured you'd enjoy that one. It's not original.
Mm. But it's a start. So,
She kind of guides you over to the living room where there's, two couches kind of facing each other. She sits at one and gestures for you to take the other.
I do so directly opposed. I kind of lean back a little bit.
And she leans back a little and crosses a leg and kind of leans against the arm of the chair.
I lean against the arm of the opposing chair, almost mirroring her. Though, I think a moment. How are things going with that little errand we currently have you looking into?
Well, it's going slowly. The construction, the reconstruction of the blood bank has, well, it's going slow. Construction typically does in this city.
And you're not in a position to be able to speed it up. Or maybe it's just not beneficial for you to do so right now.
I figure things ought to take a natural course in the case of this because there's enough attention drawn to this domain already that I don't need to be adding fuel to the fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, at least I can trust you on that.
I'm a patient woman.
And we do have a long time to wait.
Hmm.
Patience is a virtue that you certainly have.
And you don't sometimes. I have seen you over the years.
Well, I don't have the luxury of being able to plant seeds and wait. More often than not, when I do attempt that, things tend to get eaten.
Clearly. I did do a little bit of digging onto the doctor who had been in charge of the blood bank. It's a fairly clean record, at least as far as public records go. So I'm not entirely sure why it is that I'm looking into him specifically.
Combinations. See what keeps up. Who knows? Maybe we're setting you up on a play date. More importantly, I want to end up making sure that we're still on track.
On track for what exactly? I understand that I'm to keep an eye on the place.
Absolutely. Keeping track of what? Fantastic question. Big plan.
I'm a little
That's
bit
what we
blind
love,
to your
right?
plan. Yours and Anna's.
True. The plan. Well, let me let you in on a thought. You and I both know that Arlington is the dumping ground for every primogen and our beloved prince, for everybody who doesn't make the choice cut. Right? They get steak, we get dog food. That's basically what it boils down to.
And every one of us is walking a very fine line.
Yeah. But they keep adding. They keep adding to our numbers.
As I've noticed.
Hmm.
All the more important to be discreet.
Absolutely. But with adding numbers adds complication. Adding complication means eventually somebody's not going to be discreet.
Yes.
And the last thing I want right now is for this to escalate into some kind of 5-lane car crash on the 6 o'clock news. So,
Certainly not.
with that in mind, I want to know what you think.
What I think.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to what exactly? How to avoid those kinds of, well, escalations?
No. I think you already got that part figured out.
At least for myself.
Swap roles. Swap roles for a second. Dear Primogen,
Now you're just mocking me.
no, I'm not. If I was mocking you, I'd end up making jokes about the fact that your eyelashes might end up causing you to fly away into the night. You don't even need to turn into a bat. Then I'd be mocking you. What I'm asking, looking at what you know, our numbers are going to keep going up.
Yes.
How do we end up stopping this problem? Because we may be primogen. Sixth tradition, though, eldest and all that. Well, none of us are particularly young or particularly old in this room. So that kind of binds our hands. So how do we do it? I thought the blood bank was a good start, but that's all it is. It's a start. It's a long-term.
It's a short-term solution to a long-term problem. Sure, you get plenty of blood flowing into the blood bank, but not everyone can actually stomach the stuff.
True. But it does end up giving us a chance to end up being able to curtail the ones that do. Which means it frees up the room elsewhere.
True, but how many are actually... She gets a little bit of a grimace on her face. How many actually stoop to that level?
Desperation causes people to do very, very desperate things.
I imagine so.
Your job as Primogen is to curtail these particular problems. Now, I could just as easily end up commanding a whole bunch of horrible things happen that make for a sudden population drop. And outside of the prince, there wouldn't be much of anything that anybody would be able to say about it.
But it would also look very suspicious. And it's Not
I
ideal,
personally, no. I find that personally distasteful. I know you
as
like,
do
I
I.
believe. Good. Still on the same page. I like this. I like this game. So,
I rather do like the kindred that we have in this domain. As flighty as some of them can be, they can be useful. It's just a matter of, can we feed them all? And the answer is no. Over the long period,
not as this domain stands now.
no. It's a residential district. Really, the best people who thrive here are the ones who can remain quiet. The ones who don't have to go through all sorts of effort to try and win people over. You're not going to find very many clubs in this domain. You're not going to find very much in the way of industry. So what is left? Fast food restaurants and homes. Most everyone who feeds here must have some degree of break and entry. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to survive.
So, I'm thinking we need to figure out population density. If you had 10 years, how many large scale condos you think could fit here? It's a residential district after all.
Yeah, it's mostly suburbs.
Suburbs have a tendency of growing.
They do, but more with more houses rather than condominiums.
But we're sandwiched in between two fairly major ports.
Yeah, it's a great
So
commuter town.
so we
But
can't expand outward,
no, not really.
but we can expand upward. Is it doable?
On a long enough time frame. Immediately, like you said, within 10 years, maybe one or two condo complexes. But if you wanted a grand sort of complex of condominiums to come into this town, well, that would be more involved. That would involve increasing industry and the the overall GDP of Dallas and Fort Worth both. And that is outside of my scale.
What are you thinking right now, Kaufman?
It would be fantastic if we were to have another sort of tech boom or some other industry.
Yeah, well, I don't think Kindred have ever been really good at being able to force innovation amongst the human populace, so
No.
let's just presume that that's not on the table right now.
If that's not on the table and we continue to increase our population, density as far as kindred wise, we're all going to starve. Bottom line. And I think that's the intent. None of us are meant to be anyone. That's why we're here. Easy to pick off with the scourge to control population. She's never questioned. Why should she be? We're all offenders in some way. We're all on parole.
And be very grateful that you got a primogen who will actually end up stepping in the way of that. but I need to end up finding ways to show results that matter. And when it comes to results, I gotta presume that you're probably gonna be the bleeding head on that one. But you don't want to stick your neck out in court. Now with
I wouldn't dare.
So, I'm your neck right now.
I don't need you sticking your neck out for me. That would just mean
What?
that I owe you. And I don't want to owe you, Shriek.
What? Afraid that I'm gonna end up asking for favors?
I'm afraid you're going to ask me for my head once.
Kaufman, I can assure you right now, your head is the last thing in my mouth. I mean, on my mind.
It's easier to get me out of the way than it is to deal with me, and you know that.
True.
And me knowing that you know that means I gotta play nice.
I don't see the problem here.
Of course there's no problem. It's a win-win for you.
You're right. It is. It's a wonderful win-win, so long as I keep winning. But I want to make sure my win is your win.
Whatever for.
Let's presume for a second, just a second, that I really don't like some of my fellow Primogen. Just personal things.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm a cantankerous son of a bitch when I want to be, so I think that's a fair assessment.
You not liking someone?
I know, perish the thought.
That's an everyday occurrence, I'm sure. Someone not liking you, that's also highly likely.
So let's presume that that's the case. Don't you like the idea of them having each get on the fact that we're making it all work out? And every time they try and throw us a curveball, somehow we just keep winning.
Eventually that's going to draw attention that you might not want.
That's right. And so long as the attention is on me, not on you.
Why would you do that?
The fact that you're asking the question tells me that you haven't figured out the game yet.
I can't say I ever know what game you're playing.
Good. Keeps people guessing. Why would I do that? It's in my greater vision, shall we say. I think it's absolutely adorable to end up having all these, well, Machiavellian types and all of these politicians and all of these major CEOs all worried what this little Nosferatu's gonna do. Not sure how they're doing it. Trying to figure out what's his angle. Every time we think he's going to zig, he zags. And every time we think he's going to end up trying to pull a fast one, he rolls straight along. What's going on? I like the confusion.
You seem to thrive in it.
It helps me grow a big rubbery one once in a while.
What?
Never mind. That's crass humor.
Oh.
So, I want to end up making sure that you're in a position where no one has to look at you. No one has to look at your sire's old haven. Everything gets cleaned off the board. The kindred who they looked at as failures and rejects and the type that should just be removed off the panel altogether. Imagine if they actually did something. And I don't mean some stupid anarch rebellion. I'm talking about becoming something.
I was gonna say, be careful what you wish for.
Miss Kaufman, when you got to go to end up making any deal this side of Dallas? Fort Worth needing to ask her permission to end up clearing things through. The idea that suddenly one of the most dangerous things you can end up doing is touching somebody who exists in the Arlington domain, because God help you, what's going to happen?
Again, I say be careful what you say.
Why suddenly concerned for my well-being?
Because a similar thing that happened to my sire might happen to you. Because somebody will snitch.
What? That somebody likes the idea of making this place go from a shithole to suddenly the one place that you need to ask what's going to happen?
Paint that big of a target on your back?
Baby, I'm looking to end up getting that spotlight, and while I'm in the middle of it and that limelight on the near stage tripping the light fantastic, I am going to put on a show that no one's going to forget. Because I know the game. And, well, you get to end up doing exactly what I think you feel you should have been doing from the start. Because I don't think you like the quiet life. Not really. I think the American dream, to you is a fucking nightmare. And to the rest of us, well, 3 hots and a cot were all we aspired for. But are you going to tell me that that little bit of ambition just went bye-bye in you?
My aspirations to be anything more than I am went up with my sire. So no. I won't believe it till I see it. And then one day, maybe one day, you'll actually tell me what happened.
On the day I tell you that, I think we're both going to hell. But let's dance the stage. Until then, try and enjoy our time together. Because let's be real here, Jade. You and me, this thing we got going on here, just loving the melodrama of it. Just makes me moist in all the right ways, to be
Ugh.
honest with you.
Ugh.
So,
You do everything that you do to get a rise out of people. It's obvious. That's your MO. At least when speaking with people, anyway. What you do outside of that is your own business.
that's right. Oh, that reminds me. I have a gift.
A gift.
A little bit of insider info.
Okay.
Involving Second Inquisition. You're the first to find out.
Alright. And what do I have to pay for this gift?
Show me how you use it. One of two things are going to happen tonight. Either Madame is coming home, or Madame is shipped out. I know that for a fact. God, I'm trying. Sorry, Coffee. Where was she being shipped out? I forgot the name of it.
She was being shipped out from Dallas to DC. To the FBI headquarters in Langley.
Now, the ones they rounded up are currently off in Langley. Meaning that SI's got some ties inside the airport. And that a lot of them aren't coming home. But Madame will be coming back. I'm trying to read what her, if she has an emotional reaction to that concept that tonight she might return immediately.
That Madame might return?
Yep. 4 successes.
Okay.
She did say she liked the Kindred of the Domain. Let's see what she thinks, because I remember Madame, if I recall, has a little bit of a tie with Jade.
Jade. At first, is a little shocked to realize that she had been going to DC for some unknown reason. She seemed a little out of the loop in that one, but also seemed at the mention of her possibly being able to come back home. She gives you a little bit of a. It's not like overly obvious, but she does seem relieved to hear that. It's a whirlwind of emotions going in that, you know, most anyone would have, like, very sort of expressive sort of look to them when they hear both of these things at once. But she is relatively composed. She is not making overt emotional gestures, but perhaps it's because she's still young.
Her coming back means a few things. One, means that the SI is not above reproach. Second, it ends up meaning that we're going to. Who stays and who goes is not anybody else's decision but ours. And third, maybe you'll sleep a little better during the day tonight. I'm hoping, really.
Hmm. All very good news to know.
And you're on the inside track. Before anybody else gets to react to it. You know that the coin's being flipped tonight.
And you're wondering what I'll do with that.
I'm hoping that you won't bore me.
I think you've mentioned it several times by saying, honey, you don't bore me. Or maybe that's a afterthought. Or maybe I do bore you and you're just very, very good at covering it up.
I think you're gonna need some helping hands, logistically speaking.
If you think I do, then
I think you do.
Then who am I to refuse?
I want your input.
My input.
Mm-hmm. You're on assignment. You got a better understanding of who's coming. You got a contact coming in any second now, I'm sure. I want your input. Personnel, do you need it or not?
No. I think I've got everything covered.
Solo operator. All right.
Always have been. Who else am I gonna trust?
Oh, no one needs you. I don't need you to trust me, Miss Kaufman. I just need you to be on the ball.
Trust me, I'm always watching that ball.
Keep that in mind. Oh, by the way, how'd things go with the lawyer?
The lawyer. You mean to say you knew about that?
Jay, how much is there that I don't know about?
Very little. Couldn't at least play at the fact that you didn't.
Besides, I figured out who did it. I'll be speaking to them shortly.
Well, I'll have you know, if you must know, that I'm not losing the house. The loan has been paid up through into next year. Are you happy?
I don't think I'm the one who needs to be asking that. Or be asked that, I should say. Doesn't make you happy, Jade. Somebody looking out for you, your own little guardian angel.
I'm relieved. And she looks at you like she does when she looks at you like she thinks that you were behind what happened to Eugene. Only this time, it's more about the house. She suspects you have something to do with it. You can see it in her face. It's the same look she gives you about Eugene. Well, is there anything else you would like to ask me, Bremerton Shriek?
Nothing that doesn't border on obscene.
I will not indulge in the obscene for you.
Not for me. Primogen title, maybe, but that would be a vulgar display and abuse of position. And I'll have you know, am a very respectable member of the kindred community here in Dallas. And I intend to make the most of that. You, on the other hand, I hope that you have been enjoying the rest of your night. Love the fact you're working on this, and I'm hoping to end up hearing some good news about it. And if you happen to hear anything else, do end up keeping me in the loop.
I will endeavor to do as you have asked.
Good. Well, it's been fun, Jade. It's been just a... it's been a real ride.
How's it
Little
though?
update.
Just gives you a
Slow
little
and
smirk.
steady wins the... I think we're gonna have to table our own personal issues for now. But
Like I said, I'm a patient woman.
yeah, you are. Still, hope that news at least gets the gears turning a bit. Like you said, there's a lack of space. But we don't let people go unless we absolutely have to. And we make that decision. She stands. Or she might see him stand up. He starts to walk towards the door. That arrogant little bitch. Still got her confused, though. Not sure what to make of it. Let's see what she does with that little bit of information.
We shall
Hopefully,
have to see.
she's not boring.
We shall have to see. But I think for now, we're going to conclude the session for tonight. Madame has been successfully rescued. Jade, squirming in her seat for having had Shriek in her home once more. And Shriek getting to walk away knowing that. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much for playing.
Holy shit. This is one of those sessions, dude.
Yep.
Clusterfuck.
The aftermath.
On the interstate.
Yep.
That's all right though, because we now have one of their hideouts as well.
The aftermath of which we shall find out more about next time.
And they don't know that we have one of their hideouts.
No, they don't.
Haha.
But who else is actually here? We'll have to find out more next time. Woo. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching out there in the audience. Did have some fantastic people subscribing today. I like Darth Druid subscribed. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Black Wolf next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh god. The main thing I'm thinking of is like the succeed at a cause. The scourge coming in.
Mm. Yep.
I'm gonna end up plastered to a wall.
Yep.
Get swatted like a
I
fly.
think we're gonna have to start making political.
Well, that's
to
kind of
discredit her.
It's kind of the transition that you guys are making. That you're going from you know, the Primogen who are actively trying to get rid of the SI in their midst, to whatever political plays you want to make. So that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we're gonna have to start making some really active moves to start discrediting the Scourge. Because remembering that one of our previous coterie mate, who was a problem, was in really close with her.
Kane and her have been doing a lot of hanging out.
Yep.
Yup. So if she's protecting him, that might be a problem.
Fear.
Just a wee bit.
Well, I'm glad you guys have enjoyed the game so far today. So, let's get on to a stain we might have to resolve. And,
I have some.
And,
what am I getting stained on?
You're getting stained on the fact that, well, you essentially turned Kyra into a slave and are erasing her memory, or at least complicit in it. It was your idea.
I'm willing to refute that by basis of protecting the innocent from harm.
Is that protecting the innocent from harm?
She ain't dead.
She ain't innocent.
To Anna's eyes, she is.
The other 30 people in the pile up.
Yeah.
There's that too.
I think that's what I should be getting stains on for, let's be honest.
Yeah, you and Alex both kind of had a hand in that.
Oh, I'm getting at least 2 stains today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You caused harm to people, which goes against your tenets for your Wiccan tenets.
Yeah. Edit harm, none, do what thou wilt, and protect the innocent from harm. Yeah.
There were a bunch of innocents in that whole pileup, yeah.
Yeah.
There's at least that.
Fun playing a pacifist.
There's... The only thing I can really pull from that is courage is the highest value, because at every single moment, despite stacked upon stacked upon stacked of compulsions, I should have dipped. Like, I was not built for this scene. But I didn't. I pushed.
That's a good
that
call.
I got mad out.
Yeah.
That kind of works for Alex as well, in the sense that, you know, in what she was doing, she was trying to protect somebody who is considered being Madame.
If Alex considers Madame to be an innocent person.
I mean, yeah. She's got no reason to consider her anything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it was going to be a 2-stain thing, but I'll reduce it to 1 for each of you.
I think that still puts me at 2 stains.
Yeah, the pileup was going to be 2 stains, and then, Anna essentially calling Dr. Vale to erase this person's identity. Yeah, that's another one.
So how many am I taking in total?
That was only 2 for you, and then reduced to 1.
Okay.
I still rebuke it.
Well, in your case, it was 3 total reduced to 1.
I know, I still rebuke the Kyra crystal thing.
Rebuke?
I took a stain for that last session.
I'm saying I don't agree with it, but you're the ST, so I'll go with it.
Like I said, it's not counting against you because you have a conviction. It's 3 reduced to 1.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, well that was... Didn't understand that part. Okay.
Yeah,
Because-
I was so confused, Specs. I'm like, why are you purposely trying to dig yourself a hole when he's giving you a pass?
Right.
Yeah,
right,
no,
right.
I didn't understand that I pass part.
Because the total stains for Anna would have been 3. 1
Mhm.
for Kyra, because erasing somebody's memory and taking their identity away. Yeah, regardless, that's a stain. But you have a conviction that protects you from that, so that reduces that one.
Okay.
The pileup was 2 stains for both you and Alex, because innocents were harmed, and it was it wasn't exactly a very clean operation. There was injury and all sorts of other things. Who knows who might be dead? On top of Winters
Don't take
being
me anywhere
dead.
ever again.
On top of Winters being dead. So that's 2. I'm only issuing the 2 and reducing it to 1 because you each have a conviction for that.
Fair. Okay.
So for Alex,
So 1 stain.
it's 2 reduced to 1. For Anna, it's 3 reduced to 1. To roll remorse.
Dope.
And you both feel like garbage.
I feel
That's a
like garbage
good thing.
IRL. Everything
that's-
about that was terrible, and Anna is never stepping foot outside the theater again. If she survives the next, week of nights, because the Scourge is definitely coming for them.
We'll have to find out what all that means. I just said a complication.
The Scourge gonna be looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
The Scourge has an excuse.
The Scourge may or might not have something to do with the pileup. Who knows?
Oh.
You don't know. I just said it's a complication. We'll find out more next time.
That's even more threatening. Okay.
That's terrifying.
You're welcome.
What have you done?
What have you done?
What have we done to ourselves?
You just... No. You can't make these threats. My brain is too hyperactive for this.
Darling, that is what I'm here for. I am your storyteller. I simply set the conditions in which you act upon.
Fear.
You set the rope up, we just hang ourselves, right?
In game. In game.
Yes, in game.
But yes, that completes all of the stains. Thankfully, we still have feeling in Anna and Alex. Both of them are feeling
I am amazed
awful.
that I have dropped no humanity yet.
None for Alex. All right. Well, Shriek didn't take any stains because Shriek didn't do anything offensive. There you go.
I wouldn't go that
Shriek
far.
was
Shriek
Okay,
inoffensive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. More like offending the Chronicle tenants and or his own convictions, you know.
Fair. Okay.
But let's move on to some experience now. Every one of you gets one for showing up at the table today. You're welcome.
Yay!
And then we also do things a lot like Derek does in his vampire games, in which we issue experience based on some roleplay prompts. And of course, let's not forget, the audience gets to also cast their vote for who they thought were the standout today for whatever reason that they desire. It is voted upon, so if we can get that poll going. But for our roleplay prompts, who pushed our plot the furthest today?
Can I put my own hat in the ring?
You can do anything.
In my argument, the Save Madame was something that I was like that. That's the plot I chose, I guess.
Mm.
Fair point.
Also, interstate pileup.
Yep. Cause traffic at the airport.
Not just traffic.
A fender
Traffic is putting
bender
it
that turned into a pileup.
fucking maze of cars.
Yeah.
It's a junkyard now.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Hope you all have insurance.
Well,
I was actually thinking Shriek for that last interaction.
ooh.
There were a lot of moves being made there.
That
It
is
was
the
thought.
first statement.
Well, Derek, you get to be the deciding factor. Who moved the plot, according to you?
I'm gonna have to give it to Anna.
Anna?
I'm giving it to Anna specifically because not only did they kickstart like a whole bunch of other stuff that's about to go on, they ended up planting the idea of Crystal now being ghouled by Shriek, and they were the ones who said, "Screw it, we're gonna try for it, even though there's probably a high probability I'm going to be ashed on this particular episode."
A lot of risks. Thank you.
There were a
I'll
lot.
take it.
All right. Majority vote. Anna gets it. Best scene.
I gotta give it to you too. I can't even like. This freak's got nothing.
Dementation.
And the dementation that didn't
All right.
work. No.
That's all I'm gonna say is dementation.
Don't take the Malkavian out. No, I want to give it to... I'm throwing it at Alex for chomp down on Harrison. I'm going 1-to-1 on Harrison, even though he definitely had better dice than Alex.
Oh,
He shot you
Good
through the lung and
lord.
then bashed you in the head with the side of his gun. Still wasn't enough.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to Alex for that one.
Okay.
Because like if you're gonna, I take damage all the time and I never get XP for it, so I might as well end up making sure that that injustice doesn't keep going on. And if I could tip the scales on that one, then I'm gonna do it.
All right. Well, then I guess Alex gets it.
okay, thank you.
Best line.
You're making me grow a big rubber one.
I'm gonna throw Alex in the ring for that one because of their ow. You know, if you just let her go, we can just forget about all this.
I also.
It's only just now that I caught like what you meant by that rubber one comment.
You didn't understand that. Jay didn't understand that. I
No.
caught it. I was in the like completely like I was glazing over, and in all of that, that's what I fucking heard. That's what brought me back, and I'm like, holy shit.
Black Wolf. It's because I have ADD brain.
No, but my only other contender for best line is Shriek also being like, "Don't bore me." Between all of that conversation, between everything interesting that has transpired, all the balls that are now currently rolling. Don't you fucking waggle your eyebrows at me.
You know what? You make a really good argument for those lines. Oh man.
I will waggle my eyebrows at you all day long.
What
don't
eyebrows?
bore me. Don't bore me is just such an interesting statement after this entire fucking episode.
Oh no.
Well, we've heard from Spectre what the best line is. What do you think, Mox?
I'm gonna go with Derek after hearing all that, yeah. Bex has talked me into it.
Alright, there you go. Well, Shriek has it.
I was gonna say it was the whole like, how are you really gonna take that? In the demontation attempt. I'm like, oh god, she's acting like a mad woman in the middle of high traffic.
Well, Anna gets the audience favorite with one vote.
Aw.
One vote.
Aw,
We had a
thank
10-minute
you.
poll and it was one vote. Well, the audience has spoken. The one audience member has spoken that Anna is their favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you out there in the audience who voted for Anna. You're appreciated. The rest of you should goddamn vote next time. Well, we're gonna log off, and we're Black Wolf. Why are you calling me out? That I'm not even going to engage with Black Wolf right now. Black Wolf is being a butthead.
Black
Best
Wolf
mod. Best mod.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
And then Shadow Gamer does an applause on the stream. Well, let's find somebody to raid so that we can call it a night. Until Saturday when we
Emotional damage.
when we come back for Rebirth D&D Tale. Yeah, we're gonna be back on Saturday for Rebirth. We'll be back next Wednesday for more Blood and Iron. So I hope to see you all then, as we are still adjusting to this new stream schedule. So, say goodnight, everybody.
Stop dying, Specs.
Don't let him bully you.
Black Wolf is absolutely bullying me.